Hi guys, and welcome back to Live Sweet. I'm Olivia, and today we're going to be decorating polar bear cookies. Let's get started. So to start off, we're going to use our stiff white royal icing, and we're going to go around the outline of the polar bear. Now you'll see me making some different shapes just to give some definition to all four legs instead of just outlining completely. So we're going to do that for a minute. There we go, coming up and going around. And this cookie is going to be a really good example of something that you can have as a simple design or something that you can really make it very complex. Now after we've outlined it, we're going to set it off to the side to let it crust for about 15 minutes, bring it back, and we're going to start filling in the large portion of the polar bear. By doing this and leaving two legs to be filled in later, it will allow for the definition that you want to show the different legs. I'm going to go around the edge. Like I said, I always like to go around the edge first just to make sure everything as it's drying will be as smooth as possible, and that just seems to work well for me. Okay, so after you've done that, we're going to come back in and we are going to make sure that everywhere is filled in and that there aren't any air bubbles left. And you can use a thingamajiggy, a toothpick, a scribe tool, any of those things to do this. And there we go. So as you're going to see, I lost the footage for the two other legs being filled in. I'm very sorry about that, but it's just the same, so you don't have to really worry about it. You just wait for it to crust after 15 minutes and come back and fill in the other two legs. So now I'm going to give the polar bear a tail. And what I'm about to do, I changed my mind on. So we're actually going to go back and do something else in just a few minutes. You'll see what I did. At first I started by outlining the legs, and I thought that might look okay. When I sketched it out, it looked fine, but once you actually go to put it on a cookie, sometimes you'll find what you sketched does not always work, and this was one of those cases. So I decided to scrap that, and after filling it all the way in and doing everything, so I scrapped that, and coming up you'll see that I actually have a new cookie now. So, and here's the new cookie. So what I decided to do was just go ahead and fill in the eye and then put in the mouth. And when you're doing the eye, you'll put down a little bit of black, and then you'll get the white again, and then you'll use your scribe tool, your toothpick, thingamajiggy, whatever you're using. Get a tiny bit of white, and while that black is still wet, put a little dab of white on there, and it'll give you a nice eye. Okay, now we're going to come back in and we're going to put a mouth on it. And after you put the mouth on, you really could just leave it like that. I mean, you have your polar bear, and this is what I mean, where you can make this very simple, or you can make it a lot more complex. I'm going to make it slightly more complex. But see, that would be a nice cookie to get right there and simple to make. So if you're a beginner, try that out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a scarf. And y'all have seen me make this scarf throughout our winter series. It's one of the factors that tie everything together. So once again, we're going to put down the purple, and then we're going to go back in with a blue stripe. Originally, I'd wanted to give the polar bear a red scarf, but it looks a little grotesque, and there was a picture going around on Facebook in December around Christmas that kind of made the point. If you want to go look that up for yourself, you can. But once you see it, you can't unsee it. And so my polar bear got a nice purple and blue striped scarf. So we're just going to clean up those ends, make sure everything's laying flat because your icing will want to peak sometimes, and we just want it to lie flat. So now we're going to go back in. We're going to take our sky blue food coloring. This is a Chef Master Sky Blue. And then we're going to take our Everclear. There it is. This dries really, really fast, so it's one of my favorite things to use to watercolor paint with. So we're going to scoot our polar bear over, and then we're going to grab our paint palette. Then I'm going to put a tiny dot of the sky blue on the paint palette. Just a little bit. Now I'm going to put a small amount just in the cap of the Everclear bottle, and I'm going to pour that in one of the wells and in the center just to kind of break that up. I'm going to come back with our paintbrush and mix it around a little. I don't want it to be super, super dark when we go to put it on the polar bear. You just want a kind of a light color. You want to be able to build if you want to, or keep it just as light as you want. So what I'm going to try after mixing it is I'm going to go back in and I'm going to just outline the lines on the inner legs, and you'll see what I mean in just a second. There we go. And I'm just going to look at it right now to make sure that what I thought in my head would work would work. And as soon as I figure out it does, we're going to move everything. Okay, we're going to move this back over where you can see it, and we're going to zoom in. So you should have a better view now. I'm going to put my paint palette back up there so I don't have to go far, and we're going to start filling in more. So I'm going to start on the back legs. Just put it lightly over those creases, and that'll help it look like there's some shadowing and just give it more definition. I'm going to put some over the back leg. Once again, just kind of a shadow. And then we're going to put some on his back too, just to continue the effect once we finish with that lower leg. And watercolor is a nice way just to add a little bit of touch to give your cookies a little definition without having to work too terribly hard and put too much in. As you can see, I liked how it looked so much, I just added a little in everywhere. And then I went back, and where the legs, the two legs split on the back and the front, I made the line a little bit thicker and I decided that looked better. That did a lot better than just the thin, faint line. It can look a little much up close, but really when you stand back from it, it does take on a better look than the thin line. I'm going to continue just adding a little bit more around the edges where I've already added some just to darken it. Like I said, you can build with this color. And we're going to go and add in the tail because this is a different cookie from the original. So and now we're going to add the tails to the scarf. And this is going to be the same way it was. I am so sorry if you are hearing a train right now. I live close to some train tracks and it is coming through and they're being very loud about it. So anyway, we filled in the purple tails of our scarf, cleaning up the little edges, and now we're going to go back in with the blue stripes. And just fill it in. And like I said, this is a perfect example of a cookie that you can make really simple. You could have stopped a while back, just put in the eyes, put in the mouth, and it would have looked very nice. But I wanted to be a little extra, so I painted, gave it a scarf, and I think it looks really, really nice. And always make sure, you clean up your edges and your little peaks when you go to do your wet on wet. But now, here are the final looks. And I think that's just really very cute. If you do too, let me know in the comments below. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Today is the last day of our winter series, and Wednesday we will pick up with our Valentine's Day series. Now throughout our winter series, I've tried to keep kind of a similar color palette and similar, I'm going to say decorations, but you'll see the same colors, scarves, everything in there. I thought about breaking it up, but I thought at the end it would look really nice to have everything cohesive. So like I said, starting Wednesday, we will come back with our Valentine's Day series, and we're starting off with a review video. So you'll want to check back and see what I've reviewed, and if you want to try it yourself. So if that sounds like something you want to do, hit the subscribe button below. And if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. Until next time, bye!